Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky surpasses 20,000 cases of COVID-19 after confirming nearly 600 new cases yesterday. And we hear from Harlan County officials after the county confirmed more cases in 3 days than in the first 4 months of the pandemic combined. Plus, Kentucky is laying out plans for classes to resume this fall, but officials warn those plans could still change in coming weeks.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is Wednesday, July 15th. It is hump day, but to me it feels like a Friday because it's my Friday. Let's go ahead and bring in Brandon Robinson. I know you said those temperatures are going to be a hot one today, but there may be some relief looking forward into the weekend, right?
Listen, I don't want to hear it, Lacey. I don't want to hear it. You talk about it's your Friday. Listen, it's the middle of the week for the rest of us here, but you're right. It is going to be a hot day. It's also tax day, so don't forget that there. If you haven't filed your taxes yet, you need to do that by midnight tonight unless you've made other arrangements. Outside on the camera network, pretty quiet this morning, but UVA-wise there, looking decent as we start the day and across the region and even into parts of southwest Virginia. We are looking at temperatures there in the 60s and close to 70 there at Jackson. Everybody else there in the low to mid 60s as we head out the door. We're looking at dew points that are not too bad this morning as well. Some of them in the comfortable category like over in southwest Virginia, but they'll be heading up a little bit today, kind of like yesterday, not terrible, but again, when you factor in the forecast tide, doesn't matter what they are. 94 is hot no matter how you slice it. We'll talk about the extended forecast coming up here in just a few minutes, including for your days off. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And Kentucky is seeing a big jump in coronavirus cases. Governor Andy Beshear announced 576 new infections last night. It pushes the Commonwealth past 20,000 confirmed cases. The governor also says 6 more Kentuckians have died and that this should be an eye-opener for everyone. It is once again the second highest single-day jump in cases since the pandemic began. Beshear says now is the time for Kentuckians to get focused.
And our actions over these next 10 days to 14 days, really through that 30-day that we have put this face covering requirement out, are going to determine whether we continue to be a leader, we continue to be one of the best states in the country, or we go the route of Arizona, which reports thousands of cases daily.
The governor says travel remains the #1 cause for increasing cases, and the most important thing Kentuckians can do right now is to wear a mask in public. And researchers at U of L say that they could be on the fast track towards developing a COVID-19 vaccine. Right now, there are more than 150 clinical trials happening all over the world. Dr. Paul McKinney, Associate Dean of the School of Public Health at U of L, says scientists are looking into 3 main techniques to develop a vaccine. Those include using synthetic antibodies and taking cells from the virus to put in the vaccine. McKinney says that scientists rarely test this many different techniques at once, but they hope that by doing so, they'll find a drug that works faster. And Harlan County is just one of the many counties in our region seeing the highest COVID-19 numbers since the pandemic started back in March. They now have 86 cases, 10 of which were just announced yesterday. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked with Judge Executive Dan Mosley about what is causing this spike.
From March through June, Harlan County only saw 25 COVID-19 cases, not having their first case until May.
What they feared would happen in March and April, we're seeing occur right now with this spike here.
But July brought a whole new story, seeing 51 cases since Friday.
The last 3 days, we have had more cases of COVID-19 confirmed than we had in the first 4 months of this pandemic.
Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley says they are seeing a larger population of young people test positive, several under the age of 18.
This virus has no, it doesn't choose whether you're 11 years old or you're 80 years old. It will impact anyone.
He says wearing a mask is the answer to slowing the spike.
It shouldn't have to be a mandate. It's the right thing to do. We should all wear one because it is just the right thing to do to protect the health of the people we love.
asking people to take politics out of the equation.
People should unite around saving lives, not divide over because we disagree with someone politically.
And to think of those who have lost family to the virus.
All of you that are done with corona, well, how do you think they feel with losing their, one of the pillars of their family?
Urging everyone to take this seriously so the economy does not shut down again. In Harlan, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, according to a Facebook post from Tri-Cities Nursing and Rehab Center, the center and Harlan County Health and Rehabilitation Center, they will remain closed to visitation until August 3rd. But Governor Andy Beshear announced a few weeks ago that visitation at those kinds of facilities could resume today. And Governor Andy Beshear says that more children are catching COVID-19. Monday's numbers show that 11 children under the age of 5, the youngest being 4 months old. But the governor also said it is very important that daycares remain open to help working parents. Lexington Health Department leaders say since April, we have seen 15 COVID-19 cases tied to various daycares and 6 in the month of July. None are considered outbreaks at any one particular daycare. And Kentucky is laying out plans for classes to resume this fall. The Teachers Advisory Council says that things can change on a dime, but they're hoping that students will be reunited in person in just a matter of weeks. The group says that social distancing, masks, and hand washing are the pillars for a quality classroom experience. They say guidelines will affect every single person in the school system.
This is not the responsibility of a student. It's not the responsibility of the superintendent. It's not the responsibility of a principal or a teacher. It's all of our responsibility.
The TAC Board Commissioner Kevin Brown did say that some school districts can look to start the year with NTI learning or a hybrid of NTI and in-person classes. School districts should discuss that with their local health department. And the governor is pushing everyone to cover their faces in public. And one Lexington couple, Chris Gancio and his fiancee Susanna, got to work making sure everyone has a mask to show off their Kentucky pride. For every mask sold, the pair donates a matching mask to United Way of the Bluegrass and a donation to the Team Kentucky Fund.
We had a lot of free time on our hands, and one of my vendors that I work with on the grad products came to me and said, hey, we're doing these custom logo masks, and would you be interested in doing it?
Chris and Savannah have sold around 500 masks so far online, but aim to team up with Lexington businesses to be able to sell the products or organically. If you are interested in buying a mask, we have a link to their website on WYMT.com. And while many businesses have struggled with day-to-day operations during the coronavirus pandemic, one business in downtown Hazard is continuing their attempts to grow. WYMT's Tommy Poole has more.
Despite COVID-19, Appalachian Apparel Company is staying busy.
I just wanted to try them out, see how they did, see how they felt, see how well they would print, and we sold out in 2 hours.
Joey McKinney is working to catch up to the demand, shipping out orders each day.
That's kind of part of business in general for anybody, I think, is just to adapt into the situation each day.
It's refreshing for McKinney, who quit his day job last fall to run Appalachian Apparel Company full-time.
I've been working full-time and sometimes 2 full-time jobs, and even I was in school part of the time as well, and it just got to the point where I had to focus more on this, and the business continued to grow.
One opportunity of growth, opening a new location in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Pigeon Forge sees about 15 million visitors a year, so if we can tap into that market and that tourism side of it and grow our customer base there the way we have here in Hazard, then that's great for us.
Plans for the new location were in the works as early as February of last year, but countless obstacles, including the coronavirus, have delayed the location.
It's been kind of hard to juggle all of those things remotely, I guess, and only spending a couple of days down there trying to organize with contractors and figure out things that need to be done and what order they need to be done.
While the first year of the company has been a roller coaster, McKinney says the growth and support from the community has been worth it. In Hazard, Tommy Poole, WYMT Mountain News.
And the company held a soft opening for the July weekend. They hope to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony for the grand opening by the end of the month.
Temperature's not too bad this morning, a little warmer in spots, but kind of similar to where they were yesterday. Not as cool, though, at some locations there. 60 Monticello, 64 London, 63 Hazard and Harlan this morning, 66 in Pikeville, and the warm spot 70 up at Jackson at the Julian Carroll Airport next to the National Weather Service. A heat wave ongoing here, 90s for the next couple of days, but a few storms will cool us off as we head toward the end of the week, but then hazy, hot, and humid conditions will return as early as Sunday. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, many people may be uncomfortable with the process of COVID-19 testing, but new research says another option is now available.